So it looks like Microsoft is in for more surprises, which doesn't surprise me at all, to be honest with you, because after what they've done in the past few days, it looks like they've pissed off a fair few people. A lot of people, in fact. Now, what could they do about this whole problem they have going on? Well, let's cut more jobs. So this is Jason Schreier from Bloomberg. Microsoft Xbox is planning more cuts, more job cuts after studio closures. Yay! I'm sure the people who are working at these studios are so happy to realize their job is at jeopardy. Holy shit, they are! They're like, yes, finally. Xbox is offering voluntary severance agreements to producers, quality assurance testers, and other staff at ZeniMax as part of a broader cost-cutting initiative. Deep dive into the video game business. Okay. The sudden closure of several video game studios at Microsoft Corp was a result of widespread cost-cutting initiative that still isn't finished. Widespread cost cutting. Well, Microsoft. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Is it something to do with the fact you're putting these games on Game Pass? Although I heard that apparently Microsoft needs games like this, games like Hi-Fi Rush, for Game Pass. So, does that mean we're not getting any really good games on Game Pass? Are you completely flipping the script? Are you going to end up putting Game Pass up? Yes. Oh, they already hiked. I think Game Pass is $16.99 a month. That's a lot of fucking money. If it reaches $20 a month, god damn. They got to add something worthwhile at that. Heck, are we going to get Call of Duty on Game Pass? Yeah, no rumour than that. Where's the Activision games you promised people? You promised you'd be adding a lot of the older Call of Duty's titles to Game Pass. Where have we seen that? They're not even there. I don't understand what Microsoft is trying to do here with Game Pass. Are they trying to get rid of it? Are they trying to keep it? Because they've got a lot of subscribers on Game Pass. I love Game Pass. I'll admit that, yes, I do. I love Game Pass. I like what Game Pass is and what Game Pass stands for, I guess. I understand people might have different takes on Game Pass, and that's fair enough. And I do think Game Pass is also a death threat to Xbox. Game Pass is definitely doing some negative effects to especially their exclusives, because they put in day one. Hey guys, guess what? You can play this day one if you have this subscription. That's not encouraging anyone to actually buy the fucking game though, is it? Microsoft, you really need to think this through before you actually start doing simple shit like this. Because it can be the simple shit that you think is simple is the reason why you're doing stupid shit like this. This week, Xbox has begun offering voluntary severance agreements to producers, quality assurance at ZeniMax, which purchased in 2020 for $7.5 billion, according to the people familiar with the company's plans. Others across the Xbox organization have been told that more cuts are on the way. Woo! Is it more Activision cuts? And Microsoft, what are you trying to plan here? Like, you've got a, number one, Xbox has a showcase coming up, I think in June. A pretty big fucking showcase, to be honest, because that will be where the next Call of Duty is showcased. And a lot of people will be tuning in through that. So, what's going to happen? Is more cuts on the way just in time for the Xbox showcase? Oh God, I'm sure a lot of people are enjoying this one, Microsoft. What are you doing? Wow, I get it. You overhire. These companies do this all the time. They overhire like crazy, and then they realize later on that they probably shouldn't have hired that many people, or they do this and that, and then they just slate them all, which makes zero sense. Either that, or Microsoft is doing worse than they say they are. Apparently, their earnings report came out, and they did pretty well. didn't they? I know Microsoft is definitely Activision, sorry, is definitely helping them along with that money pit. They're making a lot of money from Activision already. You know, the skins and the bundles in Call of Duty are definitely bringing that money in 100%. So I don't understand. Microsoft okay with money? They must be like, oh man, this is not satisfying enough. $1 billion? Oh no. Anything less than $1 billion, we do not want. If that little small indie studio isn't making $1 billion, get rid of them. Like what? Like what do you want? Like Microsoft, what do you expect? And it's the fucking shareholders ruining that company. To be honest with you, holy shit, they're ruining it. They want all the little money. I mean, in general, majority of the time, shareholders ruin companies anyway. They just because they always have because the people who are shareholders haven't a fucking clue. Majority of them anyway haven't a fucking clue about the gaming industry. They think they know it. All they see, if it's not making money, fuck it off. You know, instead of trying to find another way. You know, you need to understand the gaming industry and understand what people like to be able to actually make money in the gaming industry. You know, and clearly Microsoft kind of know that because, well, they did that with the Xbox 360 and they did it very successfully. But they just can't replicate that with the Xbox Series X. Heck, they tried to replicate it with the Xbox One. It did okay. They did sell pretty decently. The Xbox One, I think, 60 million. 30 million more than the Xbox Series X. And I think the Xbox One will probably sell better than the Series X at this rate. Because I don't think people are going to buy a console that, number one, is on the verge of getting rid of its exclusives and putting them on PS5 day one, from the looks of it anyway. And then maybe shutting down the entire console to go completely third party. It's obvious Microsoft is a software company and they kind of want to keep that integrity. They just can't tell the truth, which is really weird. You know, tell the truth, Microsoft. Do you want to be a software company? Do you want to care about, software and making games, or do you just care about this or that? I don't understand really what's going on with Microsoft and what their decisions are going on this. A spokesman for Xbox has declined to comment. Of course they have. Of course they've declined to comment. I'm pretty sure this is an embarrassing moment for Microsoft. It is embarrassing. You know, it's kind of showing them up. You know, Sony is probably looking at this and be like, the fuck is going over there on there at Microsoft? Are they okay with financially? You know, because they're making some pretty big cuts right now. They've just axed 3 studios. A few of them studios made some pretty successful games and a lot of people liked them. Employees were shocked by the unexpected shuttering Tuesday of 3 Xbox subsidiaries and the absorption of a fourth. The closures, including Tokyo-based Tango Gameworks, which last year released the critically acclaimed action game Hi-Fi Rush. Tango was in the process of pitching a sequel, said the people, who asked not to identify discussing non-public information. During a town hall with ZeniMax staff on Wednesday morning, Xbox President Matt Booty praised Hi-Fi Rush but did not specify why the company had to shut down the development studio behind it, according to 3 people who were in attendance. Speaking about the closures more broadly, Booty said the company's studios had been spread too thin like peanut butter on bread, and that the leaders across the division had felt unsatisfied. They decided to close these studios to free up resources elsewhere. We decided to get rid of these studios because, well, shareholders said they weren't making enough money for their little pockets. God's sake. The Microsoft want everything to be making billions. Like, you're going to have some studios making millions. As long as they're in profit, I don't see what the real problem is, to be honest. It's money at the end of the day. Holy shit. Booty added the shutdown of the subsidiary Arcane Austin, the long-time developer of games like Prey, was not connected to the performance of its new multiplayer game, Redfall, a critically acclaimed and commercial flop. That's true. Redfall was a very, very big shit show. It really was. Holy God. That was a very big embarrassment for them. Maybe that's why they decided to shut it because of that. I don't know why they didn't decide to shut it months after Redfall released. Apparently, there was DLC as well on the way for Redfall, and it looks like the people won't be getting that. Hopefully, they get some sort of compensation because, holy shit, if they've paid more for the game, that's not very fair, is it? Before its closure, Arcane has been looking to return to its roots by pitching a new single-player immersive sim game, such as a new entry in the Dishonored series, according to the people familiar. Both Tango and Arcane released games last year, and were looking to hire additional staff as they pitch new projects, which Booty and Braff suggested was the main factor behind their closures. Oh, wow. They really don't care. Microsoft, these cuts of Microsoft come out in a wider contract in the video game industry due to economic shifts. Oof, it's, and I saw I saw someone on Twitter say something. I think I've got it. If I've not, I think I've got it. They said that the Game Pass, they probably will be putting Game Pass up, which again is going to be a pretty negative thing to do in my opinion, because, well, why? Why would you put it up again? Didn't they put it up last year? A lot of people weren't too happy with it. Again, you can't keep putting shit up, because you eventually got to realise that subscription soon is going to cost nearly $20. It's just shy of $3. It's maybe nearly $3 off, all but a cent. $3 off, $20. The $20 price tag. That's fucking crazy. That's a lot of money right there. I think Microsoft's is actually more expensive than PlayStation's. It might be $1 or so more expensive, I think. That's crazy. That might not sound like a lot, but again, as someone who wants a reoccurring subscription, they may end up saying, I might go with PlayStation's over Xbox's. This might be a very detrimental thing for Microsoft. And they just don't seem to care. They're like, okay, what are we supposed to do with that? And it's kind of shocking that they don't care, Microsoft. I get it's a business and it's got to be making money, and I'm sure they did make money. I'm sure they made profit. They probably didn't make enough profit to make Microsoft happy, but they definitely made profit. I know that for a fact. I don't know why this keeps going on, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, but you don't blame PlayStation why they cut a bunch of jobs. Yeah, PlayStation did. They cut a bunch of jobs at the beginning of the year. It was an awful thing for them, and it was I think they shut the like 2 or 3 studios. It was not a great thing. I don't think anyone's praising Sony for this, but it's quite clear Microsoft are just gonna go in harder. Will we see more studio closures? I have no idea. What can they close? Are they going to close Bethesda next? I mean, hopefully not, because they've got Elder Scrolls on the work, and the next Fallout that will probably be in the works, which I'm kind of happy with. So I hope Xbox. Was it a mistake? I know when these studios were first bought, a lot of people were like, I don't really want Microsoft to buy this sort of stuff. I really don't want them to buy Bethesda and stuff like that. They're going to end up doing something pretty poorly with it. And they have done, in my opinion. They've done pretty poorly. And again, instead, I don't understand why Bethesda games at most are exclusive. It's not helping the Microsoft brand. It really isn't helping the Microsoft brand. I don't understand why Bethesda, as of yet anyway, are exclusive games. What do they add to Xbox? Like, you could have just put Starfield on PlayStation, or maybe you could have just released it like a month later on PlayStation. You give the Xbox players a month in advance to play it, because what you've essentially done is you've kind of axed half of the player base on that game. I think would it be better for Microsoft to go third party? Yes. Yes, it fucking would. It really would be better. And I don't mean that in a really arsey way. I mean that in an honest way. Because the way they're going with this whole thing, holy shit, it's quite clear Xbox isn't doing them very well. Again, there's rumors been going all this year that they've been going, yeah, they're going third party, they're going third party. They're getting rid of Microsoft. They're getting rid of Game Pass. Now, I don't know when they're going third party or when they're going to be releasing games to PlayStation, but I think that's going to be the final straw for a lot of people, them releasing games to PlayStation, because it's going to be like, well, what's the point of me owning an Xbox and having a bit of, cool stuff when, well, I can just get PlayStation Plus Extra and then I can get a bunch of exclusives that I really like. It's like Xbox, Microsoft, a lot of them are just fucking everything up. They don't seem to know what they're doing anymore, and it's kind of annoying, what Microsoft is actually doing to this company. Xbox executives have been debating for months whether or not to put Call of... Oh my lord. The Verge is reporting... Okay, Microsoft has had initial debates on whether to put the new release of Call of Duty into Game Pass. I understand this is a debate that has been ongoing internally, for quite some time, with concerns from some that the revenue of Call of Duty typically generates for Activision Blizzard will be undermined by Game Pass. Wow. Are you finally realizing Game Pass is actually really fucking bad for business? Especially, why don't you put the Game Pass, why don't you put the Call of Duties on Game Pass after a year? Why don't you put them on after a year of the Call of Duty? Why don't you do that instead? You don't have to put the brand new ones day one on Game Pass. I never said I wanted that, to be honest. Holy shit, that's a stupid financial move, in my opinion. You're essentially just slicing it in half. You're gonna the only thing you're gonna be generating money from is PC and fucking... Yeah, you may be generating money from the Xbox people if they buy something from the store. This is why. Have they finally realised Game Pass is fucking their worst enemy? Have they finally realised? Is it taken them this fucking long to realise that Game Pass is their enemy? That Game Pass is the reason why their downfall is fucking happening right now? I'm not saying Game Pass is bad, but the way they just slap their own games on. Hey, guys, guess what? You want to play our exclusive? Yeah, our exclusive. What we use to push console sales. Yeah, guess what? You want to play that day one. Day one. We're the only fucking people out there who do that. Sony, no. Yeah, they have a few of their exclusives on PlayStation Plus, but they do that years later or more, so it doesn't clash. You still can't buy every PlayStation exclusive on PS Plus. You could get a few on PS Plus. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Why you drop a game that's making billions of dollars in the first few days, maybe in the first week? Call of Duty is always going to make a shit ton of money, and that's just how Call of Duty is. And I think getting rid of it and axing it and putting it on Game Pass would be a pretty bad thing for them. I'm told that Microsoft has also considered increasing the price of Game... Oh my god. Yep, I was right. I think it's maybe time for me to switch away from Xbox. I've realised that console, it was good, but the Game Pass just is getting ridiculous. What are you doing? Microsoft... If you're going to increase something, you have to give people a worthwhile... I think they're trying so hard to get rid of people off Xbox. I think that's what they're trying now, to be honest with you. I think they're saying to people, fuck off away from Xbox. They have to be, right? They have to be saying that sort of shit. Because if they're not, I don't have a fucking clue anymore. I don't have a clue what Microsoft are trying to do with Xbox. I haven't a clue anymore. Oh man, what are you doing, Microsoft? What are you trying to do with Xbox? Are you trying to kill it? I don't understand really what you're trying to do. Like, they're not doing well. God, they really want... They want as much money as this from this before they decide to go, you know what, fuck it, we're going third party. That's what I think anyway. I think they want as much money as they can before they just axe it completely and end up going third party. Oh God, what is going on at Microsoft? It's all a fuck up there. It's all fucked up over the years, hasn't it? And they've realised, oh shit, Game Pass actually might not be doing as well as we thought. Even though we've nearly got 30 million, is it 35 million I've heard, subscribers? Fucking hell, man. They said, what an absolute joke you've become. Putting it up again? These are only considerations, so a final decision may mean we still see a future Call of Duty release appear in most versions of Game Pass. The debate initially reflects on the fact Microsoft's Xbox strategy has shifted from just delivering games into exclusivity into Game Pass to considering bringing more games to more multiple platforms. I think if they bring more games to multiple platforms, I think a lot of people on the Xbox side of things anyway may consider just trying a different platform. I'm sure a lot of people would still stay on the Xbox. Again, the Xbox probably has one of the best deals in gaming history. You know, the Xbox Series S is one of the best deals you can get. You can get them secondhand now for less than $200. You know, that's a pretty big deal, and you can play some pretty good games on that. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal. But I think a lot of these players might be looking and be like, oh shit, maybe I've got to make that move over. I don't know what Microsoft is doing, man. It's fucking hell. Come on, man. A Game Pass up again? Holy shit, I think that's going to be one of the most expensivest subscriptions out there. Fucking hell. Like, expensivest subscription for, like, content like this. Jeez, what do you do? And then you could please don't encourage Sony to put their prices up as well. Holy shit. I'm starting to realize gaming on consoles are actually becoming progressively expensive. I think Game Pass costs, I think it's $200 a year. $200 fucking dollars a year. That's a lot of money. That's a hell of a lot of money. A year. That's on top of your games that you may end up buying as well. So say you buy some AAA games, you buy Call of Duty, you buy EAFC, and you buy a few other games that have come out. You're gonna end up spending at least $500 to $1,000 a year on that console. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy what Microsoft are doing. I don't understand. I understand why they're not putting the newer Call of Duties on Game Pass. I think that's a stupid business decision, in my opinion. You're putting something now, you're going to cut revenue. I mean, not that I know. I don't know how much Xbox actually gives to the Call of Duty community because a lot of Xbox players don't seem to like buying games. But I'm sure there are a lot of people, they probably, sell a few million copies on Xbox at least, I'm sure. I'm sure that because there are a lot of gamers out there who only stick to a very select few of games a year, and they try to just stick to them all their life. Like some people, there's a notable group that stick to EAFC. They buy Call of Duty and they maybe buy one other game, but they try to keep their portfolio of buying games very slim. For whatever reason, probably because of pretty expensive. I mean, gaming is a pretty expensive hobby. It's very expensive now. I mean, the prices of games going up. I mean, the average game now, even maybe not AAA, will run you back at least $40 to $50, which is fair enough. And then when you're going on the AAA type of spectrum, you're going up another $20 on top of that. So it can get pretty expensive, and I understand why a lot of people only stick to a select few because, well, they don't want to spend shit tons of money on a game that they don't think they like and waste their money. Either way, I understand why this isn't like this. I don't know. But it's what Microsoft are doing, isn't it? Clearing out the old and bringing in more shit.